Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Earlier today I made a video and it had to do with additional funds thanks to Ripple primarily leading the charge, just fundraising for Mexican cryptocurrency exchange Bitso, largest Mexican cryptocurrency exchange. And I ran into their story and kind of it's really the genesis of the company. They've been around for 5 years, starting out in somebody's mother's basement, quite literally. That's when Ripple found them. To grow into a point where they're now having MoneyGram, which is one monster of a company, via XRP implementation, which is now known as on-demand liquidity. MoneyGram is shifting a substantial amount of volume through Bitso. And so I got this piece from AMB Crypto. XRP/MXN liquidity rises on Bitso, leaves BTC/MXN behind. And so I'm going to be running through this piece, and it's hard to put into words how substantial real-world adoption like this actually is if you're a holder of XRP. That's just my humble opinion, not financial advice whatsoever. I firmly believe that this is rather substantial, so I'm going to run through that, and then I got a couple tweets I want to share with you, which I found really quite fascinating. And then I found this piece, which was just purely interesting. I'm going to save for the end of the video and share some of my thoughts with you on this. It's from Daily Hodl, and this piece is titled, "Superstar YouTuber with over 1 billion views won't stop tweeting about Bitcoin no matter what people think." So it's just a for fun, interesting piece. Before we get going here, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, let's be best friends. Go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. I promise that won't hurt you. All right. So into this first piece here about Bitso and volume. Ripple has established its place in the cryptocurrency world by publicizing its technology in the traditional market, taking XRP with it. On October 14th, XRP/MXN volume once again surpassed the Bitcoin/MXN volume on Bitso, a Mexican cryptocurrency exchange. XRP Research Center announced the same about XRP/MXN trading pair on Twitter. I think that's the tweet I had pulled up, right? Yeah, here we go. Here's XRP Research Center, who tweeted out, "This morning, the XRP/MXN trading pair at Bitso accounted for almost 70% of the total liquidity processed by the Mexican exchange." And then you had a few hashtags. ODL, which is on-demand liquidity. And again, I'm going to keep spreading the word. I know some of you are quite aware by now. ODL is the new name for XRapid. Ripple has rebranded. Then you had hashtag utility, hashtag XRP. You can see right here, here's the screen grab. And this part highlighted right now is what he was referencing in terms of rounding up to 70%. Technically 69.81. Same thing. We're splitting hairs here. So 70% of the volume on Bitso. Astonishing. Let me continue the piece now. There we go. The trading pair accounted for 70% of the total liquidity on Bitso, and at press time had more volume than the Bitcoin MXN pair. Another XRP enthusiast shared her data claiming the liquidity at 8 a.m. CEST was 14% higher than the liquidity on October 13th, whereas it was 11% higher than its all-time high on September 14th. Right here. However, there has been a noticeable spike in the XRP/MXN volume on the Mexican exchange since the beginning of October. On October 6th, the volume of the favored pair was up by 25%. However, an anomaly was noticed in this rising trend. Twitter user @HallwayMonitor2 reported that there were several transactions taking place on the platform, transactions that amounted to over 28,000 XRP every time. And I did report on that when it happened too. This increase in the amount in transactions may have caused the volume of the XRP/MXN pair to spike. There were also speculations of the individuals trying to cause this spike, something hinted by @HMATEJX, an independent XRP enthusiast. Irrespective of these speculations, the XRP community cheered in this win as the coin has been long suffering in the bearish market. Which is funny they state that because every single chart analyst is talking about how XRP is poised to just pick your bullish term, rocket or imminent bull run, stuff like that. That seems like what every chart analyst is. So I mean that seems to be the collective wisdom of chart analysts, not literally all of them, but the vast majority. And so I don't know if they'll be right because I'm not a chart analyst, but that's the sentiment there. And still, when people want to cite at the end of an article like this, which is positive news, just cite that, oh, it's been suffering in the bear market, oh, this and that, woe is me. Well, you know what? You're arbitrarily choosing a timeline, so take a chill pill, bro. It ain't even reasonable to think about it. If you look back, because what was up since the beginning or end of September, XRP's up. I don't have the chart in front of me. I think the timeline's right. I'm sorry if I'm off, but it's up like 28% since then. And within the last week, XRP has led the market. So arbitrarily choose a timeline. You can craft whatever narrative you want. So do what you want. But how about this for a narrative? How about a real world narrative about Ripple and XRP and real world adoption? Because you're talking about this volume again. This is flowing through largely because of MoneyGram, and it's fascinating. You can take a look here. Let me show you this tweet. Look at this. This is from XRP Neo, who is on Twitter as @XRP_Anderson. Tweeted this out. It might only be a few million per day, but this is a steep increase. Just imagine a month from now if it continues at this pace, and this is just one corridor. And what he's referencing here is XRapid flow. And it was a retweet of a tweet from HMATEJX. Yesterday's weekly traffic closed at slightly above 7.1 million. Take a look at that graphic. Take a look. Seriously, I mean, unless you're driving, then don't. And if you're driving, you keep your hands on the wheel at 10 and 2, motorist, or else you may become crashed into something that you do not wish to become crashed into. This is volume, primarily from one remittance company, MoneyGram. Fine, they're a big one, in one quarter. One quarter. What do you think is going to continue to happen as XRP becomes more liquid, and the ecosystem in terms of just the rails being laid as that continues to develop? Because I've told you before, there's not going to be an exchange on the planet that is not going to want to be a part of XRapid on-demand liquidity as demand for this picks up. And it's just going to happen slowly together. Demand for it will rise, and then liquidity for XRP, I suspect, will rise roughly in tandem, not literally. Look, in terms of liquidity and price action, XRP just is, for the foreseeable future, to whatever degree, going to be tethered to the price action of Bitcoin. That's just, I'm sorry whether we like it or not, it just is. So it's good when we like it when it goes up, and it's bad when Bitcoin goes down. It's just kind of a fact of life, one of those things. It won't stay like that, though. I think it's going to detailer, of course. XRP will uncouple from Bitcoin. But as all of this is being developed, it's just astonishing to me to think the level of confidence, because knowing that businesses are using this to move money around the world, using XRP as a bridge currency. And think about it. It's barely getting used now, but there are enough people that are seeing this. People like you and me that have done the research. We understand that XRP will indeed have staying power because it's being used by businesses. What do you think the price action liquidity is going to look like in this ecosystem if you fast forward another 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Can you imagine? I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't. But my gosh, if it keeps getting adopted to this scale, and this is just one use case, just imagine what we're talking about here. Because more people are going to want it. Because, look, as people want to diversify, and they will, barely anybody has exposure to the crypto asset class on the planet. Most people don't know Bitcoin exists, and even fewer, substantially fewer, know that XRP exists, for example. But as the ecosystem is built out and the asset class's staying power becomes increasingly unquestionable as time passes, more people are going to want exposure. And when you see a cryptocurrency that's been around for this long, and imagine it's 5 or 10 years down the road, and it's got this level of staying power, even if it's not volatile, or at least not as volatile by then because the frenzy around it's gone, cool. I'm happy to be in while there's the frenzy. Okay, that's where there's the opportunity, I think, just my everyday Joe Schmo opinion. But people will throw money in, store of value. It's a way to diversify. And there's going to be a lot of confidence, reason for people to do that, the more this whole ecosystem's built out. And that is what we're looking at. That is what is so exciting to me. Take a look at this. Here's a quote from Stephen Bull from the Deep. I don't know if I'm saying that as intended, so apologies if not. XRP community member here tweeted this out. A powerful quote from MoneyGram CEO. This ODL, on-demand liquidity, solution using XRP, is as close to instantaneous transfer of money humanly possible that he has ever seen. And then here's another one. Treasurers at banks love this solution, and that's from Stuart Alderodi, Ripple, and I don't remember his exact title, and there isn't a direct link to him here, or else I'd pull it up for the sake of it. But there's a 1 minute 26 second video clip attached to this as well. I just like the quote, so I thought I'd share it with you. Let's go ahead and jump to the last piece here. Unrelated, but I found it interesting nonetheless. Superstar YouTuber. I saw that and I was like, oh, this has got to be about me, right? Superstar YouTuber. That's got to be moon level. Then with over 1 billion views, and I was like, okay, that's not me. I'm kidding. But superstar YouTuber with over 1 billion views won't stop tweeting about Bitcoin, no matter what people think. Okay. Bitcoin has a loyal fan. YouTube superstar Michelle Phan says Bitcoin is the best way to protect one's assets in the event of a financial downturn. Tweeting to her 880,000 Twitter followers on Sunday, Phan says Bitcoin isn't an investment but a reserve. And so here's the tweet. Bitcoin isn't an investment, it's a reserve. The best savings technology that will protect your purchasing power during a financial crisis. When monetary freedom takes a hit, Bitcoin becomes the lifeline. Okay, as far as monetary freedom taking a hit, conceptually that part of it does seem reasonable to me. But in terms of first world countries, the vast majority of the way money moves around the planet, seemingly not at risk. It would be out of nowhere. So in terms of Bitcoin being adopted and that being the reason, I don't know that we're anywhere close. If something terrible happens, maybe I'll change my point of view. I'm not convinced of it. I'm really not there. As far as best savings technology to protect your purchasing power, are you sure about that? Because right now Bitcoin's not being used for anything, including its original use case as Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned it to be used as a peer-to-peer cash system. So the question comes down to, do you believe utility matters? I say yes. With over 1.1 billion YouTube views, which is a ton, so congratulations, she's been wildly successful there. I think she had something like, I might even say in the article, I think it was like 8.9 billion. I had to look her up. I had never heard of her. The pioneering beauty mogul was named on Forbes 30 Under 30 list in 2015. The same year, she raised $100 million to value Ipsy, the company she co-founded, at over $500 million. She left the firm in 2017. And so she's not specifically a cryptocurrency, personality, whatever you want to call it, not even as it pertains to her channel. But still, successful nonetheless. Once she discovered Bitcoin and Ethereum, Phan became an ardent proponent. The entrepreneur says she's more excited about Bitcoin than she was when she first discovered YouTube, reports The Cut. Here's a tweet from her. 10 years ago, I was ridiculed for quitting my job to pursue my YouTube channel. No one saw the potential in the platform like I did. Years later, I was ridiculed again for investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I like having the last laugh. Well, look, congratulations on YouTube, but in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum, just because you can make a lot of money on it now, it doesn't mean that it's a sound long-term investment, and at some point, it's going to get increasingly scary for people, as people see that, if something fundamentally changes, it starts getting used, hey, cool, then I say, yay, invest, staying power, not as financial advice, but that would be the sentiment that I would share, my personal opinion. So anyway, here's a quote from her. I am a lover of decentralization. YouTube is decentralized in the sense that anyone can have a channel, have their own network, and make their own content. Okay, just to be clear before I read the rest of that, YouTube quite literally is not decentralized. YouTube is a company. There isn't a single company on the planet that is decentralized. What the hell does that even mean? Right? So factually, that's just a wrong choice of word right there. All right. But anyway, and then the rest of this quote here. Bitcoin is not run by any higher authority power. It's not a company. There are no board members. For the first time in history, you can be your own bank. We've never had that before. Okay, fair enough. Conceptually, fundamentally transformative. There's also not a lot of people in the world that are experiencing pain points as it pertains to spending money domestically, spending their own fiat currency. So what problem are you trying to solve? Go back to that. As Brad Garlinghouse says, you better be laser focused on solving a real problem. This isn't a real problem for most people. And then on top of that, technologically, even though conceptually I think it's great, technologically, Bitcoin is just not capable of doing what you want it to do. So anyway, and then the piece wraps up stating, after a long hiatus, the iconic influencer who has amassed a following of 8.9 million subscribers returned to YouTube last month. Her return ignited a stream of comments with fans calling her the Queen. So there you go. You can tell me what you think below on any topic discussed here, or otherwise, if you want, you can tell me what you had for breakfast. Super duper, whatever you want, guys. Love hearing from you. That's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!